And we are live with this Division 3 game between Wizard Ninjas and Best Served Chilled. I am David, the Whimsical One Wims. Alongside me is Tyke, Celtic Tiger, Brendan, and Tyke. Looking forward to an interesting game of League of Legends, I imagine, no doubt. Should be a lot of action, hopefully, and a pretty crazy game ahead of us.
Yeah, I went into my last Division 3 game hoping for a lot of action and didn't get that. Although they did improve since we last saw them, so maybe these teams have done the same. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, no, I think that's more of a strategy specific to Instinct Gaming. It's their instinct to kind of just farm up and wait for late. But I think two different teams here. Wizard Ninja's a bit more kind of a hectic team, uh, choosing to employ interesting strategies in their games.
That's a way of
Trying
putting
to,
it.
yeah, maybe. And then Best Served Chilled, I think, considering they've only played two games so far, one against the top team in the division and the other against one of the bottom teams. So I think still relatively untested. We'll see what comes out here. We're in the pick ban phase. We see the first two bans coming in against Wizard Ninjas are Zach and Ari, and I think specifically that Zach pick. I know Moshing Fox consistently bemoans me for mentioning that Zach once in the article about his team and how it's been permanently banned away from him. We see the Azir and the Zed coming out against Usalu in the mid lane, so definitely a lot of focus towards that mid lane, and we'll see what kind of effect that has on this game.
Yeah, I was going to look at the Ari as well. Tekka has played a lot of Ari. Not too surprised to see that taken away from him. On the other side, the Azir and Zed are odd, considering Usalu is a sub mid laner. Nepsal, being their old mid laner, has moved up to the top lane, so might see some interesting picks there as well. But Usalu has played a little bit of Lulu in the past, so I was expecting to see that more commonly than anything else. However, they decided they're focusing on the Azir Zed bans. Interesting choices.
Yeah, just kind of maybe just knocking Tekka off his game a little bit with those bans. We'll see what the last ban coming in against Wizard Ninjas is, but both mid laners should be. Well, both teams are attempting to put the enemy mid laner just a little bit off their game with this one. That's going to be a Thresh ban away from Split Shadows, so maybe just kind of wary of the effect he could have on the game from the bottom lane. Looking to take down Warrior. Maybe it's just something that Dead Fang doesn't play either way. Thresh is, especially in Division 3, not a ban we see regularly, even if players play a lot of the champion. But I think definitely BSC making sure that Split Shadows can't have the kind of effect he wants on the game with the Thresh.
Yeah, but we've also seen he does play a lot of Braum and Nautilus, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them come in either. The Braum is something that Deadfang plays a lot of as well, so it would be a good early pickup if Best Served Chill can get it next rotation. Interesting to see what they go for here. Nepsal deciding to lock in that Maokai. He's been practicing a few of the heavy meta top laners, such as the Maokai and Echo, to try get into the mindset for top lane, we'll call it. And yeah, so I was expecting him to pick up one of those, decide to lock it in early on. Would expect to see Best Served Chilled here go for that Braum. They do, and they also get Nules no veg that Lucian.
Oh boy, Braum Lucian, pretty nice combo to have in the bottom lane, and they could look to make things tough here for Innocent and Split Shadows. Like you were saying, the Maokai first pick for Nepsal is normally a mid laner for this team, so I think definitely this time around looking to pick up one of maybe the less mechanically intensive top laners in this one to kind of ease himself into the role for this game. We see right now though the Vi and the LeBlanc being hovered, and Vi is a strange pick. It's one that we really haven't seen like do anything too crazy for a long time. But hey, if the Fallen Knight can make it work this game, we'll see if he
Well,
can.
considering the other jungler he's been practicing recently is Jax, I would say the Vi is a lot more useful. So they do go ahead and lock that in. Better early ganks from the Vi, and that's a very quick Darius lock in for Solero there
Oh,
in the top lane.
yeah, definitely without any hesitation there. Picking that one into the Maokai, and we'll see how that matchup goes. I think both
Uh,
kind of your opinion on Darius Maokai?
actually, Darius can completely dominate the lane if he does get ahead. He can zone the Maokai away, but thing is, Maokai, he'll still get to two items if he still gets to two items. I mean, we've seen some interesting games in this division. If he gets to that Sunfire Iceborne, at that point it's really hard for Darius to make anything work. However, before that, he's in a really good position to bully out of the lane, so it's all on Nepsal to play very defensively, which we were just talking about isn't really a thing.
Yeah, and we'll see how they choose to what they choose to do with their last two picks. I doubt we're going to see the Bart Morgana bot lane, although that would be an interesting wrinkle on the strategy, the old double support. But I'll actually be interested to see what Instinct goes into because they are playing into a very tough lane, and so I imagine they want to go for something defensive. And Sivir Morgana, well, there's a lot of CC negation there, so they can just kind of choose to play it chill. If they got cut out and they're on time with their spell shields, their black shields, and they should be able to keep themselves just a little bit safe from the Braum. So that is what they're going to choose to go with, and maybe putting a little bit more pressure onto Asalu on the LeBlanc for damage. But even then, Sivir, as of late, she does do quite a bit. Those AoE crits can really decimate the enemy team.
Yeah, and Sivir's actually a really nice pick into Lucian as well, simply because Spell Shield counters a lot of
That's a
Lucian's
placeholder.
damage. Okay.
Fine. Just before we get into anything too crazy, that's a placeholder for Rek'Sai. Last
okay,
pick
so
for
we'll reset
BSC.
now in a bit. But basically Lucian, like a lot of his damage comes out from that piercing light. You want to land the spells, follow it up with the double shots. And it's a pretty quick way for Sivir to pick up some mana and negate a lot of Lucian's damage. But that does require, you know, a little bit of outplay potential, and you see where we are.
Yeah, we back in the lobby making screen. Hopefully we can get you back into this one. But Rek'Sai last pick. Poor Moshing Fox not able to get his main champion, but Rek'Sai is something I do want to talk about because it's a champion that recently has seen just a little bit of a resurgence, seen a bit more play at the pro level, and I think generally Rek'Sai's kit has quite good inbuilt utility, but that knockup that can be good for like starting fights or as secondary engage, or also the passive as well, which allows for really good vision control. And I think as a champion right now, Rek'Sai is a good one for junglers to pick up, and we'll see if Moshing Fox can make it work correctly in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a really good early jungler. Like from level 3, you basically have access to essentially your full kit. The ult is mainly used for a map control kind of thing. So in terms of ganks, from level 3, you're ready to go. I'll be interested to see if he does go the tank option, considering he normally plays Zac. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I wouldn't really expect the warrior build. So I'd be expecting a Cinderhulk, maybe a Black Cleaver or Titanic Hydra if he's feeling particularly ahead.
Yeah, you know, kind of take his first couple of kills, maybe see if he can run with it. All depends on how the game goes. You know, it is Division 3, so we'll see what kind of. I don't want to say the word mind games, but you know what kind of interesting build paths and the like we are set to see in this one. I don't know, like you said, if he gets a couple of kills, he has the potential to make it work.
Yeah, but we'll wait and see what happens with this game. We'll say apprehensive. I mean, that seems fair. I've no idea what to expect, to be honest. I wouldn't mind a lot of kills. It leaves you talking. I'll just be here on the side.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. I want that sick Division 3 analysis that you know.
I'm so well known for.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, actually, to be fair, I was just explaining earlier, Tig, I don't know, the Division 3 analysis, you do a pretty good job of, you know, just finding these things that teams are doing good and teams are doing badly, so GJ, Tig, GJ.
Well, thanks, buddy, but well, basically, we'll just see what kind of state the game is in about 20 minutes, and then you can, you know, maybe reshape that statement. Phase. It'll be fine.
Let's stick in the lanes for as long as possible. We are back in Champ Select. We should fly through this.
I just realized they've both got the whole alliteration of the bands going on. That's nice. Oh, ZAT from both sides.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually, that didn't realize that the first time around. Might explain some of the... I don't know. See, when you see it like that, that seems very premeditated, but the bans against BSC are like genuine bans you'd go for against this team. So I don't know, maybe BSC just BMing by copying them with the letters. I'm not sure though. It's nice though. Have that there. Also, the exact same bans means it's easier for tracking ban stats throughout the tournament, which is a pretty nice addition for me as the stat guy.
As the stat guy, you're the play-by-play.
I'm also I'm the stat guy though as well. I do. All these stats you supposed to see on the screen at LAN. We get the match histories off the players after the game, so We get them, we put them in the thing, and then we have all their KDAs, their stuff like that. Won't really be in use until LAN, but even then, it'd be nice to have those, just so the players can kind of just see how they were getting on in terms of kills, deaths, whatever throughout the tournament. I think it's a nice little addition to have.
Yeah. Got a lot of time now before the game starts. I was talking to you earlier actually about there's a specific concept I mentioned, but there was a few different things I've been talking about before, just like when you mix two sports together and see what happens. I guess earlier I was talking about the hot air balloon jousting, but I think my favorite one I've come up with so far is skyacking.
We're back on skyacking?
Skyyacking's great. Okay.
No, I
Okay. The basic concept. Okay, imagine you want to go kayaking, right? You want to make it a little more extreme. Yeah, okay. So you want to make kayaking a little more extreme. You know, rapid waters just aren't doing anything for you. So you start off at a helicopter, like a few 100 feet up, and you come out of the helicopter in the kayak, and at some point you land in water. That's the part that's difficult because I'm trying to do that without you dying,
you know?
Or breaking your legs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like wings out of the kayak or something, just like slow the descent a bit. But from there, then you go out and kayaking. It could totally be like a race thing, you know? Try to balance out the falling too fast and, again, the not dying part being kind of key.
Yeah, that's skyacking. I know it's been Tyke's dream to make this an official sport for many years now.
I mean, there's other ones as well, like my paintball go-karting idea.
See, actually I can get behind that. I think that sounds pretty fun. That's like while it's not exactly Mario Kart, it's quite a bit like it because it's, you know, you're driving around, so that requires that, but it also requires good weapon usage to make it out in front, so you can take out your opponents and take the lead. So I can get behind paintball go-karting maybe a little bit more than skyacking, also because skyacking does sound pretty, you know, fatal.
I mean, depends how fast we get the go-karts going. They could be about evenly fatal. Like, okay, we swap the go-karts out because go-karts only go forward. They're pretty boring in comparison to quad bikes. So we look at those for a second. That sounds way more fun.
Actually, that would look. I can properly imagine, you know, like a bunch of people going around like a quad bike course, just, you know, firing shots off at each other with paintball guns and
knock someone off the back of the quad bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be fatal as well. That's the issue with a lot of these. You do find that a lot of them become fatal very quickly.
Yeah, the poor Tyke's career in sport design is every idea he comes up with has one fatal flaw. It's just that they all end up killing people. Yeah,
as it were.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think you need to start off a little bit smaller, something a little bit safer. That doesn't really involve killing.
I know it's kind of like when I went to when I tried to come up with some more Paralympic sports, but it turns out that if you basically get the blind to do any track and field event that involves throwing, it's immediately considered too dangerous to be done.
Okay.
The blind javelin could good, but you know there's a whole thing about that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, let's not do that, I think. I don't know. I guess.
I mean, there's also the discus, the hammer throw, the shot put. The shot put, I think, would be like the least bad because you don't throw it particularly far.
Yeah, but javelin's like.
Yeah, javelin straight up is a weapon.
Yeah. Nearly as much of a weapon as the owner of Javelin Gaming, Coxie Balls. Hoping he's still in the chat. Hi, Coxie.
You just call him a weapon?
Yeah.
It's a bit rude.
I meant it in the good way, okay?
There's not a good way of saying someone's a weapon.
I mean, he's a weapon at support, you know? He just takes over the game with his Alistair.
Okay,
takes over Division 2.
Okay, picture this. Someone, like, comes home from the office someday. The only time I've heard that phrase used is someone comes home from the office and they sit down and go, "My boss is an absolute weapon." That's pretty much the only time I've heard that term used at all for a person.
Well, you obviously didn't feel my energy because I meant something completely different by it. You know, I'm talking. Yeah.
Sorry, man, I couldn't see your aura from over here.
It's okay. It's okay. I think you just need to get better at picking up on, pick up on what I really mean. You know.
Mm-hmm.
The real.
You're a
genius.
true enigma, Whimsy.
I know, yeah, 100%. But yeah, to say we are loading into this one now. Hopefully, we should get you on the Rift in just a second. If Fallen Ike's connection would gladly speed up a little bit. But yeah, this should be an interesting game. We didn't get a lot of time to analyze the comps in
We
the.
we already talked about them beforehand, though. That's why we've had
suppose
a
a little
lot of time
bit.
in the delay.
Yeah, and then we.
Follow it up with a spell, then you just auto for the Thunderlord's proc, or you hit it with a third spell if you have Mimic up past level 6. So that's why Thunderlord is a lot more useful. It basically just adds damage to her combo. Deathfire Touch is an odd choice, but could be okay if you just consistently land Sigil W and then let the burn hit. It is straight up less damage though, so that's why it is picked less often. On the other side with the Fervor's fine, but the way a full damage Vi plays normally, Thunderlords makes more sense because you generally just go in, hit them with the Vault Breaker, and then auto cancel with the E, so you hit them very quickly with the 3 hits, Thunderlord's procs, and the idea is with full damage Vi that you one-shot them.
Alright, there, finished our lesson on Keystone Masteries with Professor Ty, but we are onto the Rift for this game between Wizard Ninjas and Best Served Chilled. Please Twitch chat type hashtag WIZ win or hashtag BSC win, and we'll see which team takes this one. We see Deadfang starting this off, popping up the mastery. The Braum God, we'll see if he can translate that into a lane win in this game as both teams make their way towards the river.
That should be an asset we get. That would be nice if we could keep like a vote back, but I suppose
Yeah.
we need. Yeah, that would be. I mean, it's hard to work with. You know, you need a lot of.
I don't know,
people
man.
watching
Modern
for it to work
technology.
well. Modern
Power of it.
technology is impressive.
Yeah, I'd say we could do it if we try really hard.
If we can land a kayak from a helicopter, we can get a good overlay.
Please no kayaking, okay? Man, that's. I don't see why everything. Yeah, all these sports you go up with have to kill people.
They don't have to. Ideally, they
They
don't.
likely will.
Yeah, but it's called optimization. You start off with the concept, and then you work back until it doesn't kill people.
All right. Well.
Isn't this a computer science thing? You should know about optimization.
Yeah, but see, when you're designing a program and you're debugging it,
isn't that like the whole
your
plot of Terminator?
your runtime errors normally don't result in the loss of human life.
This is the plot of Terminator. Like, made something, then they forgot to optimize it.
Yeah, like that's but okay.
People
all
love
I'm saying is
Terminator.
this optimization process will likely result in a few people dying. Either way, we're in the laning phase. We can see standard lanes here. Not really surprised with this one. Both junglers starting out bottom side, so we'll see what kind of pressure they can have on the top side of the map soon enough. I think Vi and Rek'Sai both should be looking for ganks. We'll see if that ends up translating into a reality later on in this one. We see already though, poor Usalu subbing in, taking a few shots from Tekka early on in this lane, and that's not exactly the start you want here on that
Yeah, when I
LeBlanc.
was looking at Tekka's match history, what I saw was a lot of Ahri, little bit of LeBlanc, and then like 1 or 2 Annie games like in the middle. So with the LeBlanc picked against him, the Annie was pretty much the next go-to, and I'd honestly say Annie is probably in a better spot than LeBlanc is at the moment in the meta, because we've seen, or not even in the meta, in the solo queue meta, because if you look at Annie's win rate right now, it's pretty insane, especially around these lower divisions, because not a very mechanically intensive champion. You simply count to 4, and she even does it for you with her voiceover lines, and then you just all in.
Yeah, and especially the changes they made to Annie recently, where Tibbers just gets really mad, especially after Annie dies, he becomes like super vengeful and just hunts down the person who killed his best friend. It's actually pretty annoying to deal with. I remember a couple of times playing AD carry, get the last hit on Annie, and suddenly have this big bear in my face trying to kill me, and I don't know. It's kind of just an extra little bit. Obviously, with Annie, you're looking for that kind of big AOE engage with the stun. But just having Tibbers kind of, screw people over in fights when you're not really worried about him.
To be fair, it was the design philosophy of the update was Tibbers more useful after he's been summoned, which he is. It's just some people would argue he's a little too useful once he's summoned, because the move speed, it can be, as you were saying, a little scary to deal with.
And yeah, we see Moshing Fox looking for a snaky invade here onto Fallen Ike. He's going to catch him out, but the blue buff was already gone. However, it's nice to have that info. You know where the Vi is, and I think Solero will be looking to maybe just play it a bit further back in this lane. especially as Darius. You don't really want to get caught out by the Vi too far forward, because between Vi and Maokai, they have a lot of CC, and Darius, you're going to have to blow a flash at the very least.
Interesting he's opted for the Doran's Blade start. Personally, a fan of the Corrupting Potion start in Darius. Allows you to poke down a lot more, plus you get the burn from the potion. So, just gives you that much more opportunities to stick in the lane as well. So, probably prefer that start myself. Doran's Blade, of course, does offer sustain, bit of health early on, so good if you're planning on all-inning relatively soon, but probably want to do that pre-6 to really get it going.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to get Maokai before he gets any of these tanky stats, and even then, Maokai just generally pretty good at sustain with his passive, so it's going to be tough to get that health bar down too far. We see actually Tekka drop very low in the mid lane from a gank there already, and I think Fallen Like, maybe sensing that his mid laner needed a little bit of help, decided to pay a visit, but no summoners burnt, and I think Tekka's free to stick around the next while anyway.
And Nepsol should probably have started Doran's Ring or Corrupting Potion. Doran's Shield generally not used because Maokai, of course, has a lot of sustain just built in with his passive, but here's a gank bot. Something could come of this.
Yeah, we see the Vault Breaker come in, but doesn't connect, and that's actually the stun coming back onto Fallen Knight. The Black Shield a little bit late, but the last auto attack's not there. And Fallen Knight making it out of that, looking for a gank bottom lane, but nearly trades his own life for it in the process. Moshing Fox down around that side of the map, so he might be looking to turn this if he can get the right angle in.
That was a dangerous fight, but yeah, as you said, I'm expecting Rek'Sai to go in. I was expecting it a little while ago, actually, but here we are finally.
They're going to go in. Spell Shield gone, Black Shield gone. They just need one more auto again, but Innocent just far enough away that Noodles No Veg can finish him off, and they're getting them very low, but they just can't finalize the kill. And no flashes burned actually from any team here. No summoners at all blown in the bot lane. Innocent actually once again going for it. Deadfang going to get rooted up, but Noodles No Veg looking for the auto attack. Finally forces the exhaust. And Innocent once again barely making it out the back of that, and I think he's just pushing his luck a little bit hanging around there.
Yeah, Noodles No Veg is actually playing very, I'd say, a little too passive in some of those engages. A lot of the times he could have just E'd forward to get that last auto off and would have been fine to do so. Nice little outplay there from Usalu, but is now finding himself on the wrong side of this.
Yeah, you want to make sure you keep your distance from Annie, and Tekka just can't get close enough to land that stun. That could be followed up on, but like you said, nice actually play there to get the flash out of Moshing Fox Usalu, and making sure he wasn't in too much danger there. And as a result, that'll be pretty nice for, I think, all of his lanes, just so they have that little bit of extra protection from that flash knockup that could come in from Moshing Fox. So yeah, that's pretty nice for him. I'd say a little bit of a confidence booster as well in this mid lane, considering he is standing in.
Yeah, and Moshing Fox's jungle path thus far has been really odd. He's kind of just picking up camps as he ganks, as opposed to paying attention to what order he's doing it in, which has given Vi and Fallen Ike on this Vi a nice little CS advantage, which will quickly turn into an XP advantage. Thankfully for Rek'Sai, hitting that level 6 isn't necessary, but would help if you're at least even in XP with the enemy jungler.
Yeah, and we see Tekka taking a few shots there, and I'd advise him to back pretty soon. He doesn't seem to be looking to start that recall just yet, though, although I imagine it'll come in pretty soon. Has a nice CS lead in the mid lane over the LeBlanc, although Annie, you can be pretty easy to farm if you can manage your stun and use your Q correctly to kill the minions, and LeBlanc kind of have a pretty tough time farming, especially at this elo when you need to actually get those CSing mechanics down pretty well. And yeah, we see Tekka has the CS lead and is going to recall. He's going to lose a few minions to the tower, though, so we'll see how that plays out in the mid lane later on.
Yeah, I think it's relatively even now. Interestingly, Annie's actually going to rush that Hex deck, what I'd imagine is going to be built into the Proto Belt, because that's the usual thing Annie's would want to rush just for that engage potential, because, of course, previously, taking the flash on Annie, you basically had to wait for that to come up to be of any use to your team. Now that Hex deck Proto Belt is a thing, you now have that on a 40-second cooldown, much nicer, plus a little bit of damage with it, and some good stats as well, but generally not rushed, because you want to have either some mana from the Roa, or you want mana sustain on the Morellos. You can kind of opt between the two, and without that, even though Annie is a relatively low mana cost champion, you will probably start to see a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, we'll definitely need to secure those blue buffs, but I think Tekka rushing that Proto Belt just wants to get in there and get these fights started. Maybe just see what kind of engages he can get off with that one. That's assuming he does go Proto Belt. I don't know what kind of crazy builds he could look to itemize
I mean,
into.
with the Ruby Crystal, I'm fairly sure you can only go Proto Belt. I mean, actually, technically you could go GLP as well, but I would hope he doesn't.
Yeah, handy to have that dash on top of the flash, and especially on Annie when you're really looking for these engages, it'll be so important to just have that extra way of getting into the enemy team, and we'll see what kind of plays he's able to pull off when he finishes that item. Right now, though, just the little bit extra that the Hextech revolver. It is the revolver, isn't it? Revolver
It is the revolver.
Okay, just making sure. I had those mixed up in my head there. But yeah, the little bit the revolver will give him. However, Usalu has been showing a little bit more fight in this lane over the last few minutes, and we see him there getting a few nice trades in. However, he has to be careful because Moshing Fox is going to go over the wall. That's the stun coming in, and Usalu, they do get the first blood in the end. That goes over to Moshing Fox, and finally the gank pays off. They get their first kill at just under 10 minutes.
Yeah, and actually, actually forcing Usalu's flash as well, so that's going to be really nice for a return gank should he see the opportunity.
Yeah, LeBlanc can be pretty tricky, but any mobility you can deny her is nice, and we'll see. Actually, Moshing Fox going to go for another gank, but I think he might be a little bit not on the same page with his top laner because Solero backed off as soon as the Rek'Sai made the tunnel in, and Nepsal, I'd say he's more confused by that than anything.
Yeah, and that would have been pretty much a free flash at the very least if Solero had decided to stay. Didn't though, and we're gonna move on to the action in the bot lane, which doesn't seem to have much coming from it.
Yeah, we see an exhaust blown there, but not enough damage to really secure a kill on either side. Once again, that exhaust will be nice if Noodles No Veg can find himself in a good position. Moshing Fox though, finally he's on the same page as his top laner. That's the Darius ult though, it's soaked up. However, Moshing Fox should have the damage to finish it off. He gets one. However, we see Fallen Knight go and get the return kill in the meantime. Hunglers have to fight it out. We'll see which one prevails. Moshing Fox getting a good bit of damage, and I think Fallen Knight doesn't want to take this fight. He's going to back off towards his own tower, but nice timing from him to make sure that that wasn't a complete loss for his team there.
Yeah, honestly, the way the Darius should have played it, what you generally want to do is you want to build up to maximum stacks. You get the Noxie and Guillotine down at that point, you do a lot more true damage. You saw a pretty underwhelming Darius ult, but that's what happens when you don't let it stack up, because a lot of people who don't play him too often forget that the true damage you get is based off of how many stacks you've built up on top of them. So you want to wait till about 5. I think he was sitting on 3 there when he eventually went for it, so that's why you saw so little damage coming down.
Yeah, I'd say it was more panic than anything, but that's a lot of damage onto Usalu straight away. He does manage to snake back with the distortion there, but Tekka managing to catch him out, and the flow of this lane is turning around a little bit, and Usalu just can't get too close to this Annie, and we see the rest of BSC go straight towards that dragon. They're going to knock that down, and a nice Ocean Drake for them there. Obviously, Ocean Drake, not one of the ones you really want to spawn right now, but still, I think every little advantage helps.
I mean, Ocean Drake is okay at this point of the game, but once they leave laning phase, it's not going to be too useful, but we have seen Division 3's laning phases extend for a bit, so could technically be a little more useful than your average game.
Yeah, I think extend for a bit might be a little bit of an understatement. We'll see if that's the case in this game. Right now, though, no towers down, no teams really pressuring towards towers, but so I think the Dragons actually turn out to be pretty important there. Noodles No Veg taking a lot of damage, but they actually get the stun in. The Black Shield went on completely the wrong person, and that's going to be the punish coming in. Noodles No Veg finally netting himself out. Oh, that's... Ooh, he took a bit too much damage there from the Sivir, and that was an awkward flash out there, but I think he'll still be happy getting that 1 kill in the lane.
Could have turned that into 2 if they'd gone at the same time, but he got really scared by that boomerang blade and decided to run away. If he'd just gone in with the Braum, they would have gotten the stun and they could have killed her immediately. Wasn't confident enough in it though, and again, just playing a little more passive than I might like, but here we go. Solero should have this kill if he plays it right.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of damage down. There's your max stacks. Just needs the ult. He gets it, and that's the Darius power. Meanwhile, Tekka also getting a solo kill at the same time in the mid lane. This is just carnage across the map here. Fallen Knight flashes in. He's looking to get the Vault Breaker forward, but that was an interesting way to choose to play that, and nothing coming of it. Moshing Fox, though, not close enough to turn that around, and I think BSC getting those 2 solo kills across the map with nothing developing in the bottom lane.
Yeah, there might be something now, though. Looks like they want to fight it. I don't think they should. They have decided as well that they shouldn't. Actually, I can't even tell. They're running forward, they're running back. I don't think they decided at that point, but they shouldn't fight it, because if they go in very quick for Braum and Rek'Sai to turn that around, and with the Lucian on the back, if they're finally on the same page as each other, it's a very quick burst combo that they have.
Yeah, they have to be careful. They do have to flash out of Noodles No Veg, but even then, I think, like you said, there's a lot of damage coming out from the people who were there on the side of BSC. So very, very risky fight to take. We see them get the tower in the top lane as well. So right now, that goal advantage very much in their favor, and Wizard Ninjas have to be careful, especially in these solo lanes, because we saw this the 2 kills that BSC managed to pick up in both top and mid at like pretty much the exact same time, and I think Nepsol and Usalu just have to play it a little bit tighter so they're not adding to the advantage that BSC already have.
Yeah, I think looking at the top lane though, Nepsol seems to be getting baited in by the fact he's like, if I sit inside Darius's Q, it doesn't add a stack and it does less damage, which, while correct, does also put you in Darius's melee range. So it's kind of giving up free stacks by sitting inside it, when realistically what he should be doing is Wing before it's even a thing and running straight out of there with Q. Especially at this point, he should sit back as far as possible. The fact he lost the tower is really big for him. It makes it that much harder to play passive, but he can try bait out the Darius Q, and then from there, hope Darius pushes him in and farm whatever minions are left at that point.
Yeah, and we see right now he's pretty pushed up that lane. Moshi Fox may be looking for something. I'm not sure if the ward caught him out on the way into the jungle. We actually see he's just going to ward and back off for the moment, but right now Moshi Fox has had a pretty nice impact on this game. A few of the Rek'Sai ganks have worked out nicely for him, and aside from a couple of instances where him and his team may not have been 100% coordinated when he showed up, he's managed to do a good job so far of getting his lanes in a decent position, and I think it's really showing, especially around top and mid, where both Solero and Tekka are managing, with the advantage they got early, are taking control of their lanes.
Yeah, and I like the build from Moshing Fox here. It's very standard. You build it to Cinder Hulk, you go Phage, probably going to go towards that Black Cleaver from there. And it's a really nice kind of mixture of damage, like the old Juggernaut style builds that were really popular when Sterak's and Titanic Hydra originally came out. It's a nice version of that, and it scales pretty well into the mid-late game.
Yeah, we'll see how it works right now. Rift Herald, actually, the objective here. There are members of Wizard Ninjas here, so they can make this an issue if they want it, but I think Fallen Knight takes a chunk as soon as he gets by, and he's actually going to back off this one. Actually, Solero does want the fight, though, flashing onto him. That's the Addy Tibbers coming in. Rift Herald goes down. Fallen Knight goes down. Nepsol is not going to lap through this new Salu. Oh, you got a bit close there. Does manage distortion out of this, but even then, a double kill coming in for the Darius, and he is going to be so annoying to deal with now that he's pretty fed.
I was pretty worried they were actually going to leave the Rift Herald buff there for a sec. They actually got it pretty close to leaving it, but Darius picking it up as he ran. Actually,
Noodles No Veg. Once again, the damage now coming out of this Lucian, pretty insane. They're going to look for a second under the tower. The exhaust goes onto the Braum, but the Dark Binding going to keep Noodles No Veg under, and Split Shadows manages to get Wizard Ninjas their second kill, and a bit of a misplay there, I think, from Noodles No Veg, falling to the tower in that dive.
That was the kind of aggression I was looking for previously. He has that damage, he can play that far forward. It doesn't work when you auto the tower instead of the champions. That was the main issue there. But he had the right idea, just the execution was lacking.
Maybe, yeah, just a little. However, Lucian has those 2 kills, has the CS lead over Innocent, so Innocent might not be in a good place. Fallen Knight very much caught out, forced to use his ultimate. They try to get tech, but this Addy is not going down to the damage they have. Fallen Knight is going to drop. Moshing Fox now on a killing spree, and once again just caught out. And meanwhile, Solero looking for another fight in the top lane here, see if he can catch him out with the apprehend. However, Nepsol has a bit more armor, so he's not taking as much. Solero, can he get the ult off? How far does he want to yank this under tower? He is going to finish him off. The passive helping him out there. And Solero now, that Darius is so difficult to deal with. And Nepsol just cannot get close. He needs to stay under his tower and just let Solero push in, because if he goes anywhere near the Darius, as if his ultimate's up, he's just going to drop him.
Well, the issue is he's using the Twisted Advance when he's already down. He's already got maybe 2 or 3 stacks on him. You need to use it when he gets either 1 or none, because otherwise you're going to go in, you're going to give him max stacks, and as you said, the passive allowed him to keep up with him very easily. From there, it was a free kill. I'm also looking here, as I was talking about, I liked Moshing Fox's build. The other side of the game, not so sure about Fallen Ike's one. Gone for that Blood Razor. That's unconventional because what you want for a damage Vi is you tend to build Warrior because, as I said, you're very reliant on the Vault Breaker for your damage, which, of course, needs the AD scaling, and the CDR is also handy for that. Blood Razor is an attack speed focused build, which, while you look at Vi's W and think maybe she could play, I don't know, kind of similar to a melee Vayne, in practice that just isn't the case, and you'll get burst long before you're useful.
Yeah, we were talking about Fallen Ike's Jack's Jungle before the game, so you know, maybe he can make it work. We'll see when he gets a few more items a little bit later in the game. If the Blood Razor Vi has any sort of effect. Looking for a gank bottom lane, they do get the flash out, but they're just not close enough to get the engage. The On The Hunt was popped there. They really wanted that kill, but I think Noodles No Veg and Deadfang doing a good job of getting out of there.
Yeah, they do walk out of that one, at the least. Not for long, though. They do get themselves poked out slightly. Noodles No Veg taking a decent chunk of damage there. But should be able to walk away from this one, as long as they don't run headfirst into it again. Looking at the mid lane, I'm interested to see that the Annie's going Rylai's after the Hextech. Again, just lacking in CDR and in mana regen, but that's going to be Moshing Fox.
Yeah, he wanted the steal, but there was just no way that was working out for them. The shutdown does come in. Fallen Ike wants to fight, but takes a culling to the face on his way to get it. Meanwhile, top lane, Darius, hello, split pushing. He's going to get the inner tower here. The rest of his team, though, still looking to fight this out. The Annie stun only really hits one, but they should be able to drop to the shadows here. Tekka is going to get focused down, but does drop the Morg. Very low health bars all across the board. Double kill now for Annie, looking for the triple. Can she finish off Innocent here? Trying to get close enough. Nepsol is actually going to drop Deadfang, but triple kill coming in here for Tekka, and he's just cleaning up this fight with the help of Tibbers. Nepsol gonna see if he can lock down the Annie, but Usalu's gonna help him out. Quadra kill. This could be the Penta if he can get the last finish here. And Nepsol just running for his life, lets the flash over the wall. There's no way to follow him, but big fight there coming in for Tekka, and all the meanwhile, Solero just happy to stay in the top lane and split push away.
Yeah, I got a little sad in the middle of that and decided to watch Solero take the tower instead. But yeah, it was well played from Tekka, but more so the fact Wizard Ninja decided to re-engage. You saw Fallen Ike had no mana after he used his Vault Breaker back in, and he was on about 100 health. So as soon as he went in, Annie just queued him and he died. From there, it was a very quick sweep of the fight. So Wizard Ninja should have done, they should have realized we actually got a dragon, which we shouldn't have done. It was a good objective focus from them. They should have realized they needed to back off because their top tower was being pushed down, and because the other team are so much stronger than them at this point of the game. Disengaged it, try to get back and take what little they'd managed to get.
Yeah, when they had the dragon and the kill, looked pretty nice for them, but just stuck around for too long. Fallen Ike, oh, you're completely on the wrong side of this. The Vault Breaker down, he's got no way out. Noodles No Veg, happy to get that one. And Fallen Ike, he just wants to go. He's ready to go 24/7. Unfortunately, not really working out for him 24/7, so...
It looks like it's more likely he'll go 7-24 with the way the game is going, but this should be a Baron for them with no jungler up. This, yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to even try to contest this one.
Yeah, they're playing pretty far back. I see them sticking around the mid lane, just seeing maybe how far they can push the wave out. Seeing what kind of... seeing if they can get a few wards down, just to maybe catch them out if BSC look to stick around, but like you said, not actually. Oh, hang on a second. Innocent, ooh, he went on a bit of a solo mission there, but he's going to fall. Tekka happy to get that kill. Usalu, the next focus, just brought back in and dropped by Moshing Fox, and his team is just being absolutely decimated. That's 4 more kills coming in for BSC after the Baron, and we were talking about them playing defensively, but I think they just got a little too adventurous towards Baron, and once again, BSC punished them.
Yeah, and we were talking about this even pre-game. We were like, realistically, they need to play a bit little further back. They're against lanes that can dominate, but they could scale up and be useful. They decided against that, and you're seeing it's costing them as of right now. That's the Baron going over. A few multi-kills for that Annie, and now she's come so powerful. Everyone on that team is so powerful relatively, so there should be a quick 2-in intake.
Yeah, that inhib is not long for this world, and they also have the one in the top lane exposed as well from Solero's split pushing frenzy earlier. Everyone on the side of Wizard Ninjas is falling. Like once again, he wants to fight. He's gonna go right into the back line and see what kind of CC he can manage to drop. He does get Noodles no veg, so this might be something for them here. They are going to lose Fallen like eventually. Innocent, you are in the middle of the enemy team. Okay, that's 2 more kills coming in for Solero here. They do manage to drop Moshing Fox, but even then, I think this is another fight for BSC. Triple for the Darius, looking for the Quadra, not able to get close enough to Usalu to finish him off. Nepsol going to be the focus. Does actually get him in the end. That's a Quadra kill coming in, and this could be a Penta for the Darius this time around. Deadfang just leaving it the hell alone because he wants his top laner to get the Penta kill. And Solero, we saw split pushing earlier and just takes over that fight. And I'm pretty sure that's just one BSC the game.
I feel like my Sky Hacking idea will be less fatal than the state of this game at the moment. But yeah, that should be the game pretty comfortably. Fallen Ike just wants to fall one more time. Tries to run in. Solero doesn't really have the mana at this point, but even if he stood there, the Baron minions should probably be able to finish. But looks like Fallen Ike's going to run in into Tech.
Oh yeah, Tech is just there to do the job with Solero out of mana. Looking to follow up with the double. Tibbers just chasing down Innocent, nets him the double kill. And with Solero leaving, Tech is happy to finish off the job. He loses Tibbers to the tower, and I don't know what he's going to do now. He's going to get a lot of damage down. Oh, he's just going to get a triple kill. 3 more kills coming in for him.
Head to
Does walk into the Dark Binding. Has the damage to finish him off. I'm not sure if he can get through Nepsol, though. The Penta taken away from him again. Noodles no veg will avenge his mid laner here. Solero actually comes in, TPs for the KS. But that will be it. BSC takes out the enemy team once again in their own base. And we'll finish this game off to move to 2-1 in Division 3.
I mean, you were saying that Wizard Ninjas normally don't get that many kills in their games relatively, but I think if you look at their old games, this was a better score from them, I think, compared to their last ones, but overall wasn't quite enough to know one.
Yeah, the first few minutes seemed to go pretty decently, but then they just kind of gave up a lot of kills,
Everything.
which is which is not normally a recipe for success. But from us anyway, that will be it for the evening. Thanks for watching and a very good evening to you.